Guys, if only you knew.
Yeah.
I'm a Kelela. Remember Mkharimbe's song? You are that guy. Watel Joe. Watel. Anyway.
It is what it is.
Yet another episode of On the Table.
Yo, mesh.
What in a mesh, yo?
Mesh.
Yet another episode of On the Table with me, Tsepi.
Black Velvet Khomotso.
And the Ghost Lady.
Yes.
And we're still right here at Lola and Ben. A big shout out to them as well. They're based in Vona Valley, Midrand.
At Hertzford Office Park.
Yes.
Yes.
Building.
Building.
And the second floor.
Second floor.
They sell amazing prams. So if you are a mummy to be, you can also come and get yourself a nice massage and a nice time to check out the prams that you think would work out for your baby. Or even, you can do some car seats. They're here and available for you.
And the water feature for the baby.
And the water feature for babies. So that baby can know how to swim, etc.
Not to swim. I think it's
well,
more
to be
therapy.
strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strong.
And ukumlalisa. Is that not what you Let's have a conversation that is on the table. Cool?
Yes.
So the conversation that we're having today is the things and the questions our people need to stop asking. Whether it's Mqimbini, whether uchomiaka, be it on the gram, be it on Twitter, don't ask me these questions.
Please.
What is that question you are pretty much up to here?
You know what happened recently? I saw, I think they were coming for Bonang. There were a Twitter, like some tweets that was going up about you should have a baby, and obviously by now, why didn't she have decided to have a child, basically? And I think she said, fuck off.
Good.
And that was the answer.
Yeah, with the heart emoji.
Oh, I love her fuck offs. They're always with the heart. They come with love.
Yes,
And
they come
light.
like
Marangyak.
Yo, and how many of us get all those questions? Yeah.
Yo, guys.
Yo,
those
listen, I was
questions.
called as Gogwane on Twitter.
When?
Why?
Why?
The other day, this guy says, I've got such a crush on you, Marnet Skokwane. I said, wow.
Oh, why?
Sure, it was not a question, but damn. Ask me how old I am before you call me a Skokwane, bloody shit. Okay.
It's also a question you don't want to hear. How old are
What
you?
is that question for you?
How old are you?
Really?
I don't like that question.
Why?
Ungenaphi. Why,
But then
what
after
are you
you
going to
said
do
it-
with my age?
after you
like
said
they
it-
see you. Okay. Just to digress. When you are taller and you are curvy, when people look at you, they don't look at your face. Babonu bdala. Even when you're not. And I've experienced it from a very young age, from high school.
Yo.
Like, you're just a high school kid. Look at my face. Look at me proper so you can see what. Forget the height. Forget the curves. I'm still very young.
You're a kid.
And then you ask me a question. How old are you? I'm like, I'm 25. Oh shit, you're 25. I thought you were 30.
How are you 25 though?
No.
Trying to clear that one out.
You see those kind of questions. How old are you? Also, you're not offering me a job.
And
So what are you gonna do with my age?
Okay.
Yeah.
Ghosty, what's the question you feel you are up to here?
I think it's for me after we had our child, like our son, and then it was yes. Where's the next one?
coming?
When is the next one? You must have a girl. You must have a. You must.
boy.
You must.
You must have a-
Yeah. Just
female.
because how you live in a house that is 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms, who's gonna be? They must sleep in the other bedroom. Fill up the house. You know. It's,
Fill up the house.
I don't know. You know. It's this. Yeah.
Yeah, those questions.
So it's become-
Wena Tepi, for you?
Oh, do we have time?
Yeah.
I got a list. Cause fuck you and your mamas. Sure, for me, question number one, like, yeah, the age thing, I don't mind really. I think I'm over it. After I turned 25, it was just like, oh, well, it's downhill from
I don't
here.
mind
so.
the age one too.
Listen, I'm 30 old.
Yeah.
Right? I am close to...
The next I'm doing is 40, you know.
Make it 25
so, yeah,
days.
I don't mind that. What I do mind is when are you getting married?
Yo.
My aunt once said to me, Rakhadiak, bless her beautiful soul, she's still alive. She says, I was like, Rakgadi, I don't want to get married. And I've told you this before. I can akunyala. Rakgadi king. Lesbian. You know, when Betty Woman, honey, hey, king, lesbian. I was like, mama. Firstly, lesbians are also able to get married, in case you don't know. But also, no, I don't want to get married.
Well,
and they don't understand
for being open, you know.
She's quite open-minded, hey. And the question that I also hate.
You just don't like it.
I have a dog, right? But now the problem is with you people who come to my house and see that I have a dog, or even see on social media that I have a dog, you think it's because I'm replacing it with a child. So your next question is, why don't you just have a child? Because, I mean, you're really taking care of this dog that you treat like a child.
So why don't you... dog to a child?
Mita. Yeah.
Why don't you just get a kid? Firstly, I have mad issues with that question. Sure, I've never suffered from a miscarriage or anything of that sort because I've not tried to have a child, okay? In the very same breath, but lo reka prem.
Okay.
So anyway, my issue with that question, of the when are you going to have a child, when are you going to lamanisa, is number one, you don't know my fertility journey.
Yo, that's true.
You don't know what triggers me. You don't know whether that question is a trigger on its own. You don't know how many children I have lost. Because unfortunately there are women, if you've read Gabriel Union's book, where she speaks so openly, and I mean both of them, I'm currently reading the second one.
The wine one.
There's we're gonna need some wine, and there's we're gonna need something stronger, which is my share, because I'm a whiskey girl, but here we are. Where she speaks openly about her infertility journey, and also speaks about having to, in her words, give up and accept that her body has failed her. This is in her words. That her body has failed her, that she had to use surrogacy. And she said her dad had joked. Do you see the jokes that you guys say? Things that you say in jest. Jokes, and said when she then told her dad that she is now pregnant while they're expecting a child through surrogacy, he made a joke of, you had to get someone else to do it for you.
The way you went on that mixer, I thought you were going to go do the popo. I was going to be like, what?
You can't popo over that.
You can't popo that.
Oh, man.
I will judge you if you popo that.
And these questions, a lot of the times when they ask them, there's no sensitivity, there's no empathy.
Yeah, because you're thinking it's the next trajectory that you're supposed to have as a human being or as a woman, because that's clearly what we're seen as, is these beings to reproduce. And you're saying, umita nini?
Or even if you just only have 2 boys, 2 girls,
when
or 3 girls,
a boy?
How is the boy?
Who said I want a boy?
Have another one.
As if my children that I have now are not enough.
Yo.
So,
or as if you decide.
The pressure that comes to your questions, to the question that you guys are talking about, a lot of newlyweds.
Barini.
Hi manje so shadile sesukhiphela inkomo sesilindileke.
Yeah.
Did you have that ghosting?
Yes.
Did you have that?
Obviously, you know how people be like, afterwards, okay, you've gotten married. When are the babies coming? You know, it's the conversation, and it's the next. It happens to everyone.
So then when you did then decide to conceive, was it on your own basis, or did you feel a little bit?
Because it was a year later. We said, okay, no, we don't want a child like in the first year of our marriage. We said, okay, we'll for the next year.
And that was a conscious decision you made for both of yourselves, because you felt like in your marriage you'd be ready.
Yeah.
Then the lamanising thing, do you have a conversation about that?
We did have, because initially I remember I was one of those that had said, listen, after my first one, I want my kids to be a 1 year apart. After I had my son, I was like, listen,
Bona.
You know what? Kishap. I'll see this thing maybe like 5 years later. Exactly. You know, so it was just like, because of my body, it just felt like I lost me. I always say 2014, I was non-existent. It's like my body disappeared. I disappeared off of this earth.
Sure.
And only after I gave birth, I came back. So it's that thing of, then only it's like, no, take your time. And then, but in that time, everyone is going, how? The next one, he's growing. He's 3 now. He's 4 now, you know?
So how are you, what's your response? A lot of them, what's your response when they're like, Uzani no munye, why are you not having a girl?
2 years ago, I started saying to people, I'm like, you know what, if you want to encourage me to have a baby, give me money. That thing of just mouth, hey, baby, I'm like, no, bring gifts for a baby. Like say, I want you to have a child, or I look forward to you having another child, bring something. Let's say prem.
Are you going to have a child?
Yes. Like, no, I'm just saying.
Nash and I are putting a down payment on this one for you.
Okay.
It's 12,000 rand, so we'll just buy it for you.
Yes.
In fact, Zoitenga manje sizoswipe.
Oh.
Mesh.
Oh, yeah, what?
Hello, man.
Ageko, that's why I'm speaking. So, we'll buy you a pram. Will that encourage you to have a child?
That will encourage. That will be a blessing.
Girl,
in our heart.
shut up. Then you're not trying to have a child because you want to.
Well, how can I put it? At the end of the day, guys, it becomes a conversation, and it's like, okay, if one says, you know what, I've stopped taking the medications to prevent, and it's like, whenever the baby comes. You understand? So it's now, you living through the universe and saying, if I fall pregnant, I'll fall pregnant. So,
my pill finished today. I need to go to discount.
Get your pills.
I'm trying to fall pregnant. But I gave you sex, so what's what? Okay.
So,
what are other questions you feel are team too much, where they need to stop asking you? For me, like I said, it's the baby thing, and more so when they start comparing my dog to a child. Yes, my dog has medical aid. Yes, my dog is expensive.
Then you can press the poo.
Yes, my dog is living soft, if I must say so myself. However, it doesn't even come close to a child.
Yeah, but I saw your dog gets time out.
He does.
All I know is that dog doesn't want to sleep on his bed.
He does now. I bought him a bed at Mr. Price home, trying it out. He does now when he wants to.
So we're currently looking for a puppy. We're shopping
Good luck.
for a puppy. Yeah.
You're going to see shit. But good luck.
Yeah.
And ungayipha matambo ghosting mapapa wa izolo.
How? Saying safe, Ajay. How?
No, man. You have to eat proper food or else you'll find yourself dead for always vet. Where I was because my helper gave him Albani plate. Let's not do this. Let's move away.
Is it like, okay,
My God, my dog was in hospital for 3 days after eating a slice of Albany bread.
Yeah.
So we know that that's not what's supposed
Not
to
for dogs.
And I paid 15,000 rand after that.
Medical.
Yeah.
What's the next question that you guys?
Yeah, the next question.
I think finishing school.
Uqeda nini?
Qeda nini esikoleni, guys.
Do you understand how modules?
Uthola nini umsebenzi?
Yeah. My issue with that is usebenza nini? Uya nini emsebenzini?
Oh, you know what my issue is? That question of, are you still at YFM? Yo! Like, what's that supposed to be?
What's your response to that?
Like, all the time it's,
catch me on the A-list, motherfucker.
Are you still at YFM? Now, when I get that question, I'm almost like, oh yeah, no, I left and I came back. It's almost, I feel a little bit defensive, as if I should be some sort of like ashamed
of being there.
And it goes with every job, you know.
Yeah,
like
if
someone's
you're still there.
How? Oh.
They're like, 5 years later, usakona.
Maybe babuzela in terms of...
No, but I'm saying, okay, me it will be 8 years later. But my point is, for anybody else, but usasebenza apps. Like, no. That is a question that bothers me. Like, what I must do? What question are you asking?
That's what I'm saying. For me, these questions, unless you're bringing something for me, you're trying to... Maybe usasebenza why? Because maybe I've heard with metro bafuna bantu, and I think you're the perfect fit, and I'm gonna put in a good word for you. Then sure, but for just for the sake of conversation,
it's just to gauge you where you are, and it's like, okay, and it's just now it's like a judgmental kind of an art.
Yeah,
like,
it's got-
Yeah, it's
like,
the tone.
it's
for
the
me.
tone, yeah.
Choose your tone. Choose
When you
your
ask these
text. Choose the right
questions.
time. So when you don't know how to choose that time, I'm almost like, firstly, I don't have an issue where I is. Okay,
Could be even like, so you're still staying in 4 ways.
yeah, like,
So it's like-
you still live there.
You still stay there. Like,
Yeah.
how?
Sasekas.
So
Sure.
you
Am I
expected me
supposed to not
not,
live there? What's wrong with
what's
living
wrong
there?
with, yeah.
So those are questions that kind of bother me. And also the part where you guys were saying, "Uyothola nini umsebenzi?" How triggering.
It's so triggering. It's so triggering. I probably failed a module because of something. You know,
Oh, I am sitting every single day. Joe.
Yeah.
You are
try,
here emailing.
try.
I am
Emailing.
despondent. I no longer want. I want to cry. I'm probably in the verge of suicide because I'm not getting a job. Mara wena ufuna ukuhlala la. Khotso,
Ngathola umsebenzi namanje.
manje. 4 years later.
Utho.
Wena. Thank you.
U-apply kuphi?
Waplaya kuphi?
As if you're using the wrong link to apply for jobs. You've been
Usano MacG namanje usaselapha.
Like, say ghost lady.
Usase ghost lady.
Abakavezi.
Do your in-laws know
Who?
that you're a ghost lady?
No.
Oh, thank
I
God.
can't.
Why?
Oh,
They would probably post her. Said in-laws, I did
No.
not text it wrong.
sure.
Oh, did I just say that? It's because I shut the hang and then I can say that. But also your in-laws don't know you, so yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
text.
I stay on the DL.
Yeah.
Like
You have to.
When I'm with my in-laws, I'm just makoti. I try and just play the
You're
facade. Like, you know what? I'm just makoti. I'm in, out.
Awusanonanga udlani. What are you eating?
Sena mo wish. Sena ka mo ki.
Can I take a spam? But stop asking.
Sometimes actually, in that kind of answer, sometimes you want to just make people uncomfortable so they can just stop asking.
Oh, do you want to make your grandmother uncomfortable? Wena?
Yeah.
Spam.
You
Your grandmother? Oh, hell no.
How?
Koko magwinya. Usitogo.
Yeah, that is one thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like to make a person feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like you just have to say the extreme.
Are you guys not married? Namanje.
What do you say then when people say you've gained weight?
Ngidla kamnandi.
I'm like-
Uyangibhadala. Ngiyadlala.
I'm just like food. What do you think food does? I eat. Like I am food. Like
I am
food is
I am
me.
what I
food is
eat.
me. Like I'm very comfortable with it. Like wow, who cares?
Okay.
Like
But it's the tone, guys.
I know, it's the
to
tone.
her point. Imagine umuntu afike ukuthi awusanonanga. What if I'm suffering from some thyroid?
Yes,
You're so
yes.
insensitive. You just come there. Okay, sharp. Nginonile. And then ufuna ukugijima nami. What's up?
And even then, like, you don't even have a nice way of saying it. And I suppose there isn't really a nice way of saying.
but someone to you will be like, why are you so skinny?
So that is also my thing.
Yo.
My thing is I get the, gaining weight.
You
For whom?
exactly.
Am I gaining weight for?
For the why?
So
So that is also another question that bothers me because contrary to what people might think, you might think, oh, that's a nice question
nice
to
question.
ask,
No.
because then you're still in the same.
again, it's the tone.
Yo.
I still have
You gain
clothes
weight,
in
then
grade
it's-
8 that fit me now.
You see.
So if you're saying things like that, you also don't know the teasing that I had been. I mean, when I was in primary, I had hectic teasing of my weight because I was really thin. I was called skinny malinki. I was called all these things that you might quite honestly
Actually, a
think.
nice DJ name, Skinny Malinki. DJ Skinny Malinki. That's dope.
Well, I suppose if they embrace it,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it wasn't something that I wanted to define me or something that I felt like is something
No.
I needed to embrace because it didn't come from a good place.
It didn't come from a good
from a
place.
nice place. Slander is one thing. I mean, Gotimbisa, they used to call me slender, so look. That is one thing. And I don't mind that. Even to this day, if anything, call me slender because, well, my point is, questions like that are very triggering because you don't even know. And that's the reason why we're doing this podcast today, is to know that the questions that you feel you need to ask, even in the comment section, when you feel you're just asking with your Twitter fingers or whatever the case may be it on this comment section or anybody else's comment section and on Twitter and on Instagram and on Facebook, you think you're just asking, but you really don't know the trigger that you have opened up in someone's life. because you don't know how many times they've lost their child. You don't know the excessive weight issues that they've had, the eating disorders that have come up because
diets
of the
they've
question.
tried,
Yes.
and it's with no success.
Because of the questions that you ask.
Yeah.
And you feel you're asking them because it's just a question. It's not that deep. Oh,
and it turns out to be very deep.
Hante.
Turns out to be very deep.
Hante, what other questions?
That's why
What
I
other
said,
questions?
you know, in back like, when we're talking about just giving answers that will make a person feel uncomfortable. I just remembered. I used to have a colleague, right? A male colleague who was very like, you see, you'll come to your desk and start asking, "What's this for?" So I had medication. You know, so that it was like, and it'll be like, dude, like, don't, it's my desk, don't touch. Stop it.
So
it's like they want to ask, what's this? What's that for? And I remember afterwards, I was like, I wish I'd said it's for my vagina. Because I know he would have felt so uncomfortable. He would never come back to my desk and even ask me, you know? So that's the thing.
Yeah, come to my workplace, Joe. They will then be like, oh, really? What is it for?
What happened? What's going on?
Like, your vagina, okay.
It must be hectic.
Must be hectic.
Yeah, it must be a problem.
Do you have other issues in terms of questions that you feel should stop being asked?
Maybe gauging your finances. Like when people ask questions to gauge where your finances are at.
Why did you cut your hair? Yeah.
And then they have
it's
this
almost
thing.
putting pressure on you.
The rent. Patala malini rent. Malini rent.
Yeah.
That is upsetting.
Like there's a business. Like, so they start asking, wants to find out. Let's say I said, come to my business. Come see my workplace or whatever.
So does that mean
you have
you
a
won't
product?
take me seriously because I'm renting?
And for how much? Because if I say I'm renting and the rent is 4.5, Mara, you could easily buy a house, Moose. And you're like, do you know who there's people that are renting that can't afford to buy houses, not because I afford.
How much is rent? How much is rent here?
And how much
7.5 or 5.
How much are you paying for this car?
Or 2.
What's the installment?
You could buy a house with that. And have you ever been asked, Malini Pondila?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I'm also guilty of asking that question.
Yeah.
You need to stop
But
it,
I didn't
girl.
know better then.
Okay.
I didn't know better then. With no man. And I think I've been privileged enough to mangbuzo umuntu mbuzo and they don't respond. I
You
know how
shut
to
up.
take a hint. With okay, sorry.
Oh.
You know, I like upatala malini pondiala, and the person would continue with
Yeah.
It's just such a
and then
question for me.
That's when I'd know.
You shouldn't have asked.
You shouldn't have. Just be happy, invite you.
You know what? You know what's
Be
going to happen? You know
shy.
when people ask you a question like that, and then next week uboleki 500, and you say I'm nice, like koki bond 15,000, kota kwazi ngiboleki 500. You know people like that. It's like it becomes because now you're
They
gauging my
ask because
finances.
they're gauging your finances.
Exactly, they're gauging your finances. So it's like, if I've got a problem, mangakwazi ukukhokha lapha school fees. Ngizakuwena ngoba ukhokha
we are afford muswena.
Uyabo?
Yeah, these questions just basically don't ask us shit, guys.
Be shy, man.
Yeah.
At this moment, I'm also starting to feel
like just
you know
don't
what,
care.
Shy?
Just don't care.
Drink water. And if you drink
Mind your
water, you'll be
business.
making rounds in the toilet. You won't have time to mind people's businesses.
Yeah.
If we're being 100%.
Yeah.
And also,
Waruka,
ne
you don't
relationship,
have time.
guys. Ne relationship. What kind of a relationship do we have for you to be that comfortable to ask me those kind of
ask.
questions? You don't just go randomly asking people a question. Yeah, nyakwazi, but not like that. You know.
Yeah. Sometimes I also feel like people need to be put in their place like that. Of like, it's not the kind of party, chum.
Yeah, bo.
I'll put this a question.
You know what's worse also? It's like you're selling something. You know you've got a business. Okay,
Really taste. Hey,
no,
really
not
taste.
even really taste.
Yes.
You're selling, but it's like, but how much is it? How much do you buy it for?
How?
You know, people want to gauge
Cost
like,
price.
yeah,
Cost to company.
Yes.
how? So it's like, no, but how much do utenga ngamalini?
How much are you telling you into China sitting at 20 rand, selling 60 rand?
How?
You take my price or we move, hey?
So that's
You
also
take
just
my
like,
price.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
For me, the really taste. It gets to me all the time. I'm like, do you ever go to McDonald's drive-through and like, chips I get it all the time. it tastes?
It tasty.
So when you go to ShopRite or wherever you go to buy your very peri sauce or whatever, do you open it and taste
Yo.
it?
It's chili, guys.
Chili, and I don't trust people that don't eat chili.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Iphelile.
chilies.
And you don't remind, I'll bring it.
I'm almost isiyaphela.
Stalker, okay?
Yeah.
So, comment section, place your orders.
Yes, bona.
Do you also have an issue with the uthenga nini moto? Or ushintsha nini moto?
Oh yeah.
When I used to drive a Citroen,
Angihleka ukuthi bo drive Citroen. Ngihleka uthi they were brave enough to ask a whole tepi drive Citroen.
I still have that car by the way.
Asihleki Citron.
Asihleki Citroen. No.
Sabta calls it iskepe.
Iskepe.
Yes. It is kind of shaped like a skepe. But, I mean, I had that car from since I was in varsity till maybe I was like 23, Joe.
Ne.
And I was asked constantly things like, when are you changing your car? Do you want to give me monies? And also you're triggering me because like Lebotole has been to service for 10,000 Ks 1 year. I can't now put that questions. What's going on with you?
Yo, back to the kids. This question, have you been asked, how old is he? Akakahambi. Oh. Akakakhulumi. And you're like, I'm at developmental stages.
I know that.
I knew get it, bruh.
I'm sorry, I can't. Okay, no, I don't ask. I ask how old is baby?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that a?
That's fine.
That's fine.
Don't be asking me why is my child not walking.
Yeah.
You're insensitive.
Yeah.
What if I'm at developmental? Sometimes it's not even an issue. They take time.
Yeah, that is.
They take time.
Have you had a?
I think that's cute. If they're overly cute, then it's understandable. But if monomtana ish.
But why do you guys have an issue when they say, "Oh, intombazana" to a boy, and it's not even an issue, right? It's like, "Oh no, it's a girl."
For me,
but when a girl is called a boy, hey,
what a problem. How mtana movie kangako? Not that abafana babi. No, but like. Oh, but you can't even see when I'm talking wanyana. Can't you see?
I know some parents end up like
I'm stockings, there. You're like, how? Why would I?
No, but then that's just being plain.
Yeah, that's being. That's
I know, guys.
All we see is the head of this child, and we're also just trying to figure out.
Hi, guys, Mara, stop with the questions. Yo,
yeah, I think the go-to one in this case, especially with the child. I mean, I call every child baby until he's about he, she. Then I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, hello, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. How old is baby? Because then the word baby is not offensive.
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
not offensive. Yeah.
And I know parents say, la catch, how do you feel?
We do. Yo.
And catch and catch.
Yo.
Do you have any other questions that you feel asked about your baby to you is quite offensive?
No.
I guess it's just the expectations. Like you said, like how hambi,
Sure.
Because they have been compared to other kids.
Okay.
I think also. And like whether it's even when you take by maybe your child now is at school and the teachers are calling you for maybe saying, oh no, he's got difficulties with this 1, 2, 3. And it's like, okay, why are you saying that? Well, the other kids are doing this. It's like, oh well, they'll catch up.
Eventually. Yeah.
So it's one of those. I think I went through that when my son was still in like last year, I think grade R. And the thing is, he's a November baby. So remember all the kids this one
just before.
Are all before. So it's kids who are born in January, February, throughout the year in the same grade. So the teacher will be like, you see the kids from July or June, January to July, perfect. all these other ones, they are slow. So imagine now my son is November. I'm like,
That's just the slowest of them all, Joe.
It's like, yeah, with the other December ones. Like,
basically, your child is not trying.
Hey.
Yeah.
So it was like, no. And that's the thing. And so I was like, no, but if you think of it, and this is what they've been saying, it was like, they'll catch up.
They'll catch up, man.
And guess what? Guess where he's at now? He's just catched up.
And it's not even catching up. He's katisaki. The other ones are ahead.
It's developmental
yeah,
phase.
exactly.
It's phases.
Yeah.
It's not even catching up. It's katisaki.
Ukubuza ukuthi umeet ungekho meet.
Yo, babona umkhabanyana wami wemali channel O, and then they start.
Do you get that a lot? Are you pregnant?
No, I never. Like, as much as umkhaba, but mangmili, you wouldn't equate it to pregnancy. But there was a lady I used to work with, and she looked like she was pregnant. Kanti she had a womb issue, I don't know what the issue was. It's her thing, but you would hear people come to you because you always spend time with her. Like, okay, pregnant.
Shame.
And you're like, guys.
Do you have a calendar of my...
Trust me, they know. They know. That's how much people care about other people's business.
I could never. Congratulations goes to you and your child. Have you gotten that?
No, I would have that. I remember last time I was with my in-laws. I don't know what I was wearing. And people were busy like, hey, no more. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
So it was like...
Do you find that as an offensive question?
Yes.
It is. It's just too forward. Like...
Definitely.
I will tell you if I'm pregnant.
Imagine
Don't tell me.
The lady I'm telling you about, by the time her colleagues are thinking that she's pregnant and she's not. The time she's dealing with there's a health issue.
Yeah.
So much to a point that later on she went as far as having to take her womb out because it was making her stomach swell. It would swell.
Oh, no.
So,
wow.
And then you get people that would be that insensitive. Like, aren't you too old to be pregnant? And you're like... Okay.
Aren't you too old to not be pregnant? Aren't you too old to be pregnant? Aren't you too old to have 2 kids? Aren't you...
Like, age is catching up.
It never fucking stops.
Man.
And some of these insensitive questions come from women who have been conditioned that this is your life trajectory, that you go to school, you work as opposed as an option, but you find a man. You get married, you get pregnant, and get pregnant again, and your children must get pregnant, and that's your life trajectory. And if you don't, everyone's like, what's wrong with you?
Something weird.
So it's like now the pressure is on the parents. If you, like for instance, like Sisi now, it's not only you getting questions of, oh, when you're having your child, maybe even your parent now, your father, they're like, what's going on with Tepi? When are you going to be a grandpa?
These questions.
Like,
have you had
from
men?
Yeah. There's my sugar daddy who says...
Are there questions...
There's my sugar daddy.
Are there questions that are being asked ematoteni and they feel that those questions are like insensitive? Like,
Jens, do you feel like there's a question that you find insensitive that people should stop asking you as men?
Are
we serious too? Baby ngiyazi wena userious smash yini ukhathele bekubuza ukuthi ngikhona na as girlfriend yakho mara asingayiphenduli leyo angithi
Mesh, what's the insensitive cut.
No, let's be serious. On a serious note, guys, there are questions.
When did you start stuttering?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Like as it just
as soon as I
starts.
started speaking, like, how do you answer that question?
I don't.
Oh, good.
Okay, just look at them.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's also an offensive question to ask?
About my part, so I just grew into it. So it's a normal question.
Okay.
I get it and then I just do my thing.
Okay. No, that sucks. That sucks some real balls. Because also with things like that.
That sucks on what?
It sucks real balls.
Oh, was I not supposed to say that since we're talking too many balls? with even balls. Things like that. Like how would a question Israelo about my speech? Or my speech impediment. What are you saying?
It could be maybe a different disability. Like someone is like, no. I'm not. It's not.
No, but say someone has a disability.
I'm talking about now. I'm not saying not you. It's not a disability. It's just
it's
a
an
speech
impediment.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's someone inquiring of your disability, and it's in an offensive manner. So I think that's also.
But is there a non-offensive manner to ask? When did you stop stuttering? When did you start stuttering?
maybe it's someone
Do
in.
you have a like you can hear it, you can see it.
I'll
but
think of it
what are
like,
you
for
asking?
instance, like this. Someone maybe is on a wheelchair and it's like, are you able to have sex? Imagine.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
that,
I think that's very
that is a
offensive.
bullshit question.
Yeah.
So
'cause now-
feelings and shoving umuntu. Yes, I can.
that is a bullshit question.
Oh, what's
No, that is a
But they're normal
bullshit
human beings. Like,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
normal. Like some of them can be able to do normal activity.
My point is, no mama ubuza leyo nto, whether I can or can't, ungena.
Ungenaphi?
Which hole?
Maybe
do you
ngifuna
enter?
ukukushayisa. That's why I'm asking.
No, they probably always ask things when someone is married, or example, like,
Oh.
I'm sorry. So yeah, Vuka.
Sure.
Sure.
You're like, why you gotta ask me such crass questions?
Yo,
know?
these
Yeah.
questions.
Gents, is there any other question? Nina nizenza ngathi anizwa.
And bazwa kahle.
Anizwa kahle, because we can't speak from a man's perspective.
Yeah, that's why we're asking you guys to give us like
Give me one last one.
one last question that you're asked. Awu mesh bambuza uyam-afford uthephi uthephi imali uyam-afford.
Bang-afford wena phela. Ngifuna ibalance yaka. Yeah, one last one.
I
Quick,
heard
guys.
Tato say like a question like how did you get your woman? Eh?
Why?
So you don't like that?
that?
Oh.
Or awukwazi ukushela.
Akwazi ukushela, yeah.
So those are questions that shouldn't be, you feel like
Asked.
they shouldn't ask.
You shouldn't
Okay.
ask a man.
Is this a consensus with all guys? Do you
Mosha,
find
but we're
it
not
offensive,
told to
mama
move.
ngathi kuwe,
Hey.
Jolene as an afana?
living together. Senze niyafana.
Y'all is rude. I thought I was trying to
so
include you in the.
Okay.
Do you see, Chillers, why we do not include the men in this podcast?
Jolene has an afana. Oh man.
So Tato is the only one who dates up, but the rest they date their companions.
I'm not even sure what that's supposed to mean.
these guys,
So, I suppose in wrapping up this conversation,
Yeah.
it really is important for you to ask yourself before you ask questions. You need to ask yourself whether it's necessary. Do you have one?
No, I wanted to ask them, do they find it offensive when the other guy asks, if they do ask, so isize umeasure kangakanani?
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't.
That's
But I've heard on the Monday episodes, y'all throwing around Gucci, vendor guy, Sol, what. So you guys never
that's
ask
just-
ukuthi ingakanani.
Yeah, Mash. If you
Yeah, small big vendor.
and then etc.
Yes. No.
Honestly, if you have to, Mash, if you are sitting here comparing your size with other sizes, we're going to have to break
Nama
up here
shape.
because you are
Ney'nhloko zakhona.
you are mad childish if that's the case.
You don't have to. Bona.
He's the leader of the pack. he
And that's
says.
why you're Tepi's person.
And
Eh?
that's why she's not having sex, so go figure.
But Wishamesh,
When we do ask these questions, let's wrap this one up,
Yes.
ladies. When we do ask these questions, and if you feel like it's necessary to ask these questions, which it never really is, really ask yourself lots of questions. Zibuza, and make sure that whatever it is that you do, don't hurt people's feelings.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the worst thing to do. Ugly people bore me, man. Like I hate people who.
ask yourself,
When I say
does
ugly
it
people, I mean
concern
no,
me?
You're not talking about. Did you see how?
Sorry, I mean mean people.
I was like, huh?
About
People who are ugly inside.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it necessary? Is it going to hurt the next person's feelings? You know, do you really need to ask this? After you've asked this question, what will
is
it
it
do
gonna
for your
do for
life? And if it does, fuck all. If it doesn't move the trajectory of your financial life, if it doesn't move your relationship, your borotoba, how anything, really, Joe, you can
Is
do
it
without.
necessary?
Yeah,
Leave
you
it.
can do without this question.
Yeah.
Do you have your last parting shots on this one, ladies?
If they still feel the need to continue, just give them answer azobenza ukuthi bangaphinde bakubuze.
Thank you. Those are the ones.
Yeah.
Make them feel
They should
uncomfortable.
never-
Like
ever,
Hambratambrutele
ever.
type of thing, what you just said.
What did I say?
Well, I mean, what you had said about
Okay,
the
non-sake
sperm.
spam.
Yes.
Hey, just tell them. Non-sake spam, Joe. You see?
Do you think
and then
that-
if you have a follow-up, you and I have a follow-up, people must just stop with your snacks questions, guys. Stop.
Yeah,
Snacks.
I don't like it as well.
Yeah.
I feel like, don't ask questions that you, especially if you don't know the person. Luna bako social media sa tsebani. I was psychoanalyzed and I had to be like,
Yeah.
Masazani Joe, you are my follower, you're not my friend. There's two
Yeah.
different things there. Goes to your last parting shots?
I just believe in, I think, censor yourself.
Censor.
It starts with you.
Shy, Joe.
Yeah.
Be shy. And respect.
starts
be
with you.
respectful. Be
Yeah.
respectful.
Can
To
your respect
people.
be silence, in fact? Just shut up, eh?
Yeah.
Shut up and keep it moving. We're keeping it moving.
But I get it. Sometimes some of them would be like, okay, I'm trying to get an educate. Like to his point of when did you start stuttering? For me, I feel like how they asked that question, yes, it's offensive. But if umuntu approach it, it's piwe. I've noticed ukuthi we are stuttering, ne? Sharp, not to offend you or anything like that. Please help me understand. How did you start coping with it? Uqale kanjani? Like if it's towards you understanding me better, ukuthi ungangipheleli inhliziyo mangikhuluma nawe, you want to complete my sentences,
Yeah.
then sure, but find a way to ask the questions in a respectful
Simple way.
empathetic way. Nganje umane ubhamuke nje ungiphaphela ungangazi, you know.
Someone once said to me, maturity is being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes.
Yeah.
And the
That's-
minute you can't do that, then unfortunately you lack you lack maturity,
Maturity.
and of course your emotional intelligence
Yeah.
is one that is quite questionable.
Yeah.
Ladies, let's wrap this up. It's been an amazing episode, and once again a big shout out to Lola and Ben for hosting us.
Thank you
in
so
the past
much.
2 episodes. You guys are incredible and you are amazing, and we are hoping that we'll have more of our chillers who are expecting and those who already do have babies can come through
And even
get
other
themselves.
chillers who will just invite us into their businesses. Spaces,
Absolutely.
you know?
We are open to that as well. So if you are a chiller and you have a new business or a business that's currently operating, we are yours. Okay? We are yours. All you need to do is send us through an email.
Yes, at on the table.
At
No,
this is-
on the table at thisismacg.com.
Bona.
Say that again.
On the table at thisismacg.com.
There we go. And they will be there at your spot, checking it out and, of course, speaking about it to all our chillers. It's been an awesome one,
Yes.
ladies. And just
Love
like
you.
that, we're out. It's on
Bye.
the table.